Once again, this is SEC Saturday night. Live from Fayetteville, Arkansas, Daniel W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. Two teams with the same record but seemingly going in different directions go head-to-head. Tennessee looking to snap a three-game losing streak. Arkansas trying to hold on to this mid-season momentum. And welcome, everybody. Look at us.
Who'd have thought?
Not me. Here we go again, in person and live for the first time. You think about these two programs, where they are, the records are exactly the same, but the feeling about the programs, especially in the fan bases, are drastically different.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with expectations going into the season. Tennessee was expected to compete in the East. They have grossly underperformed. And Arkansas, sitting at 2 wins, should have been 3. I think there's a lot of analysts, and myself included, that weren't sure if they were going to get 3 in the entire season. So they're headed in different directions. This game is crucial for Tennessee because of the tough schedule at the end here, and continue to build culture for Arkansas.
And the quarterback play is just a microcosm of where both of these programs are at this point in this season. Let's start with Tennessee. Everybody knows it. Jarrett Garantano has not only had an up-and-down season, but an up-and-down career. Jeremy Pruitt told us yesterday he's going to start the game. He's not coming out after just a mistake or two. But there are things that he does well.
Yeah, and he's going to have a long leash because he needs the confidence. He's playing like a quarterback that doesn't have confidence. For a guy that's a fifth-year senior, he's played a lot of good football at times. He should have more confidence. Look, he's made crucial mistakes, but there are things he does good. One of those things is the deep ball. If they can complement the run game today, which they need to get back to, with the pinpoint accuracy of how Jarrett Garantano throws the deep ball, and I believe he throws it as good as anybody in the SEC, that's how Tennessee is going to be successful. They have a few big targets on the outside, Josh Palmer and a young kid, Jalen Hyatt, that are dangerous. I expect a few of those to get completed today for Tennessee.
You mentioned confidence for Jarrett Garantano. Here's Felipe Franks, who was in the spotlight and drew the ire of Florida fans over the years, especially the way things ended. He comes to Arkansas, this family atmosphere, and he has blossomed.
Boy, doesn't he look like a different quarterback? I mean, he's playing confident. It looks like he's having fun. And if you just look at the offense, at Florida, he was asked to sit back in the pocket, diagnose the defense, handle protections. Kendall Browse, the ops coordinator here at Arkansas, is limiting what he has to do, and he's playing faster, he's playing more confident, and he's playing better because of it.
Tennessee won the toss, Arkansas won deferred. Tennessee will receive. Coach Ublic's down on the field, as he always is. Tennessee's offensive line was supposed to be a strength. Where do they rate right now?
Well, they haven't lived up to expectations, at least my expectations coming into this season, Tom. I thought they'd be neck and neck with Alabama as the best offensive line in the SEC, but Jeremy Pruitt tells us they are as healthy as they have been this entire season. Jameer Johnson will get the start at left tackle tonight, and it's a group that offensive coordinator Jim Chaney would like to lean on. You look structurally at what Barry Odom has done with the Arkansas defense, the numbers they have on the defensive line, how light they are on the defensive line. Want to go ground and pound if you're the balls tonight, and that offensive line is going to have to be the group that makes it happen.
There may only be 17,000 in the building, but it's got a fun Saturday night feel to it. No return on the kickoff. And so Jarrett Garantano making his 31st career start, 6th in passing touchdowns in Tennessee history, 7th in passing yards in 8 300-yard games. The native of New Jersey, 2 weeks ago against Alabama, threw for 162 and 2 touchdowns.
And to me, he plays his best football when the running game gets going. So look early for Tennessee to have tight ends on the field, getting heavy sets, and try to establish the run against this Arkansas front.
They will hand it off on the very first play of the game, and we expect to see a lot of that tonight. In fact, Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, good friends with Arkansas head coach Sam Pittman, and Pittman said this week, not only is this going to be a slobber knocker, but I imagine my buddy Chaney's going to want to run this ball 72 times in this game if he could. Aaron Gray is now in at tailback for Tennessee. He'll split time with Ty Chandler. Garantano wants to throw, and he is flush from the pocket and trying to scramble, maybe picked up a yard, if that. And that's going to leave 3rd and long for Tennessee. First tackle of many coming for Bumper Pool, 3rd in the nation with 12.5 stops a game.
And he looked in the direction of Josh Palmer, his best receiver. He's just got to pull the trigger. That slant was open. He's got to let go of the football. And now on a 3rd down and 9, Tennessee is going to come out in an empty set. This is where Arkansas will check into their drop 8. There's going to be a lot of eyes on the quarterback. Decision making is paramount for Garantano.
Arkansas has been great against the pass, but they give that one up perfectly on time to Josh Palmer, and a fresh set of downs for Tennessee.
And this is what's dangerous for Tennessee. Garantano does a great job here of evaluating which direction the linebackers were flowing in pass protection and pass coverage there. But this Arkansas defense is opportunistic in that zone. He's got to be careful.
They'll run it through the left side, and a huge hole for Eric Gray. You mentioned the Arkansas defense. Barry Odom is a coordinator on that side of the ball. They've run zone 90% of the time this season. They ran it for a grand total of 1 play in the game against Mississippi State. How can he disguise what they're doing?
Well, you're already seeing a little bit of different. Notice a 4 down front for Arkansas. Usually they base primarily out of a 3 down front, but you're going to see these safeties, as you see now, rolling around pre and post snap to try to disguise the coverage on the back end.
The 2 linebackers, Poole and Morgan, have been sensational all season. There's a huge hole on the left side and a big pop at the end of that run from Jalen Cadlon, the freshman who was ejected for targeting last week against A&M, and losing him was a huge loss.
And a great job by the left side of that offensive line. Wanye Morris getting the start. We weren't sure if it was going to be him or Jameer Johnson. Wanye's been banged up, but he goes.
And they go on the ground again to Eric Gray. You see big 64 Wanye Morris on the left side. Impressive opening drive so far for Tennessee.
And already Tennessee is getting Arkansas out of that too high zone. That's the goal, right? When you play Arkansas, you want to run the football effectively enough to get them into 1 high. And right now, they might pop back into that 2 high, but they've been playing around, rolling guys in the box to stop the run.
Garantano on play action, 2 for 2 to start this game. And a convergence for the stop for Arkansas with Hudson Clark coming in, the redshirt freshman from Dallas.
You know, another interesting thing about Trey Tom is last year, we talked to him multiple times about, was it 2, 3 full pad practices he had before the season actually began. He really started playing his best ball week 6, week 7, week 8. Is he going to have enough time to sort of become that same player this year as he did last year?
2nd and long for Garantano. They'll run it again, and a slip on the turf for Ty Chandler. Dr. Pepper Fansville giving fans the keys to the game.
And we've already seen it on this first drive. Tennessee get the ground and pound mentality going. It's as much scheme as it is a mentality. They need to get that mentality back up front. And when they're on defense, handle that Arkansas tempo. And Arkansas, they are going to want to take some shots. Can they hit those? And can they adjust to heavy personnel for Tennessee when they bring it out? Right now, Tennessee liking this empty set on passing situations.
11th play of the opening drive for the Vols. Quick hitter to the outside. Trying to set up the screen, and Arkansas blows it up. It's a freshman, Cadlon, who does more film study than anybody you've ever seen. He led film study Thursday night for the defensive backs. He knew it was coming.
And this is a great play. He comes from on the back end, diagnoses the screen, shakes off a blocker. He had to dip underneath a blocker to go and make that play. One of the reasons he's so talented and so important for this defense. He plays well on all 3 levels.
So a long drive to start things off. This will be a 50-yard attempt for Brent Samaglia. Senior from Nashville has been sensational in his career. He's got the leg, and he's able to split the uprights, and Tennessee scores on its opening possession. Samaglia fired up. Do it for the brand, baby. Does your kicker have ink like this? 3-0 Vols. Did I see you on the Razorback Football Instagram page?
I might have been on that.
Could have been pretty creative. Sam Pittman, boy, what a breath of fresh air for a guy who grew up an Arkansas fan. Used to come to Lou Holtz's camps here. Grew up just across the border in Oklahoma. He is an original, and he is 100% authentic. And what a job this Arkansas coaching staff has done this season. First year across the board for the head coach and the coordinators, as you would imagine. And Kendall Briles wants to direct a fast-paced offense. And he has in Franks a veteran quarterback who is also a willing runner. Career high 91 yards on the ground last week against A&M.
He's got a lot of talent around him. A guy to keep an eye on. Devion Warren, number 10, senior wide receiver. He's their speedster. I expect that they want to get him involved early and often. You're going to see him line up right here, top of your screen. They want to get him the ball early in this drive.
We got a bunch of guys that they'd love to spread the offense to. Here it is, Warren around the edge on the reverse, and he's got a blocker. Henry paves the way, and Devion Warren takes it all the way past the 45. I want you to buy my lottery tickets.
How about that? Little reverse play. You got to find ways to get your playmaker the ball in space. And here again,
back-to-back plays to number 10, Warren. And the pride of Monroe, Louisiana. And a Ouachita Parish picks up another first, short, and that'll be second in a few.
But he's a great complement to Traylon Burks. Their big 6'3", 230-pound wide receiver, more physical. Devion Warren's more of the slasher. Get him the ball in space.
First carry, Rakeem Boyd, and he spins his way to the first down. You watch a Kendall Briles offense, you'll notice the spread, literally the spread. That time they had trips receivers, all three outside the numbers.
You'll notice spread, you'll notice tempo. They want to get to the ball, snap it, and stress this defensive line and get them tired.
Huge issue for Arkansas. Tight end Hudson Henry just limped off the field. He doesn't take many breaks throughout a game, and they try to run it on first down and find nothing.
You know, it's a copycat league, right? You see that little play where they all look to the sideline, trying to get the defense to take a deep breath and slow down, and then they snap it before you're thinking they're going to. Florida ran that same play for a first down earlier today.
Yeah, caught the Georgia defenders on their knees on that play. Here's Rakeem Boyd, gets turned around in the backfield, and great surge up front. Tennessee's got a new defensive line coach. His name is Jeremy Pruitt.
How about that? Defensive linemen are like, man, we get enough of the head coach. Now he's with us all day. Every meeting, every practice, he's trying to whip that group into shape.
Four-man rush here. A little shovel pass to Boyd, and he gets taken down by Henry To'o. I love watching this guy play. He was a great freshman last year next to Daniel Batuli, and now he's the guy leading the way.
I tell you what, great instincts and great closing speed. He was about 240 pounds last year, slimmed down to about 225. He's playing fast, but man, first four plays there for Tennessee's defense, they're playing faster. They look like they're playing more motivated. Maybe Jeremy Pruitt on the defensive side down there. Position coach is helping out.
Well, they also had a guest offensive line coach in practice this week. We'll tell you more about that maybe after the break. After a quick start, Arkansas comes up empty offensively, and they will punt it away from Tennessee territory. Sky punt from Reed Bauer. And from the 18-yard line, that's where Jeremy Pruitt's offense will start. Got a new mask. He's almost wearing it. 5.5 to go in the first quarter. Garantano points out Morgan. Trying to run that direction, and a nice little cutback to provide some space, and that's a gain of 6, and the ball came out. Arkansas thinks they took it away, but that doesn't seem likely. Two Tennessee guys down on the field, including Josh Palmer. All right, tell us about the Donjoys.
So if you pay attention to football, you see the gigantic knee braces on offensive linemen these days. Donjoy makes those braces, and pretty much every school requires that teams wear them. You get a couple extra offensive linemen in there, a couple extra sets of Donjoys. Barry Odom says that's concerning for this defensive front.
On 2nd and 4, this is Jabari Small with his first tote, the freshman from Memphis out of Briarcrest Christian.
So this is exactly what Jim Chaney and Tennessee wanted to do, establish the run. Now, if you notice, Arkansas is in one high. They're playing more cover 3 man on the outside. What Tennessee likes to do is run that slot fade. They like to take shots with the inside slot receiver, like you're going to see right here. That's Josh Palmer, their best receiver. At some point, they're going to take a shot. Now they got Arkansas in one high.
Garantano looking that way, and he will unload to the sideline. A nudge as that pass is being delivered, and it is pass interference on Tarek Brown. He didn't need to do it. The pass was 2 yards over his head.
Defensive pass interference. The pass was not catchable.
Well, there you go.
And that's a good call here. This ball was high and outside. I think Garantano knew that he didn't have anything there. They opt to do the slot on the out route instead of the slot on the vertical route. I think if he took the vertical there, like I hinted at, might have had a shot at a big play downfield.
I don't know what that stat means, but it's not good. 2nd and 10 now. Garantano 3 of 4 through the air. Blitz coming from the edge from Poole. They run the opposite way with the freshman Small. He's able to get a couple before Bumper Poole brings him down. And here comes 3rd and long. Where is Jarrett Garantano at his best in his passing game?
Oh, he's at his best off play action, right? So that's why you love the 2nd down throws. You love 1st down throws when you're running the football. Now when you're backed up on 3rd and 7 or 8, this is not where you want to be if you're Jarrett Garantano, especially against Arkansas that plays zone coverage so well.
10 interceptions on the season for this Arkansas defense. Miscommunication for Tennessee with the young wide receiver Jalen Hyatt on the outside. 3-man rush. Garantano trying to run for it. He's got a bend and he picks up the 1st down with the legs. And Garantano stays in bounds and take it down to the 36-yard line.
And this is a great decision. Something we didn't see, for example, against Kentucky. When these linebackers drop out into coverage, Garantano was forcing the ball earlier in the year. Now he does a good job of tucking the ball, seeing green grass, using his athleticism, and picking up the 1st down.
Nice job by Trey Smith finding work there, helping open up that run lane.
Tennessee will run it on 1st down. And Eric Gray, the sophomore from Memphis, picks up a couple of yards. That leaves 2nd and 8. Sam Pittman's defense has 4 absolutely key players, including Jonathan Marshall up front, Poole and Morgan, the linebackers, and Cadline at safety. As they go, this defense goes. Straight ahead. And Eric Gray having a fantastic 1st quarter here.
And Arkansas is slanting their defensive front a lot. Right there, they slanted it towards the tight end, towards the strength, and that opens up the cutback lane there for Eric Gray to burst through and pick up that 1st down.
13 carries for 64 yards for Gray. Jarrett Garantano will lead his team to the sideline as we've come to the end of the 1st quarter. Garantano in this game is 4 of 5 through the air for 24 yards. Most importantly, the Tennessee offense has already rushed for 96 yards with 5 different ball carriers. It's a 3-0 Tennessee lead at the end of 1. Hope you took the under. To be honest, the press box spread was better at my house. But yeah, this is great. 1st and 10 for Tennessee. Jarrett Garantano trying to lead the Vols to another score on their 2nd drive of the game. Some key players for Arkansas we're going to discuss in a moment. They go straight ahead with the run. No, it's Garantano keeping it on the edge. And Garantano calls his own number to pick up 10. We haven't seen, Cole, a whole lot of number 42 out there for Arkansas tonight.
Back in the game on that play, but it had been almost 2 full series since we had seen him in the game. Barry Odom says he is the most important player on this football team. I don't think he looks like he's 315 pounds on film. Everybody tells me that he is. He's a behemoth of a man, and he's been awesome inside for this Razorbacks defense all season.
He wasn't moving real quick when he came back on the field. Here's the 15th play of the drive for Garantano in Tennessee. Eric Gray is running back. A hop with the snap, and Gray will get wrapped up and stop short of the goal line. And Tennessee's going to have a a 1st and goal from the 1.
And Jonathan Marshall so important because he plays that nose guard position. Sometimes he'll angle, so he'll be tilted towards the center. That really disrupts some of the double team and movement that Tennessee wants to do as Jarrett Garantano now trots off the field. And
we got Wildcat with Gray. Here's all those Don Joys, Cole. And Arkansas has time to answer. Barry Odom went over this on film with his guys. We got time to get our bigs in the game. Garantano turns, hands it off Gray. He will walk right in. Touchdown Tennessee on an Eric Gray 1-yard run, and then some scuffles afterwards. Cole, what's it like when the offensive line gets a chance to go out there with 7 dudes and just put them on their back?
It's just bear crawl time. I watched Trey Smith there, 4-point stance. He's got his face mask about 4 inches off the ground, and you're just trying to bear crawl 6-8 inches ahead. You get any kind of movement, really a stalemate almost helps you. That allows the back to make a decision. Whenever he wants to cut, he finds Green, gets into the end zone.
A 16-play scoring drive that took 8 minutes and 29 seconds off the clock. Line drive kick punched through by Samaglia. Eric Gray with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Look at all those Don Joys out there. 10-0 Tennessee. Tennessee 10, Arkansas nothing. With Cole Kubelik and Jordan Rogers. Tom Hart here in Fayetteville. We're on the road for the first time this season.
It's great to watch a football game not on a computer monitor in my office. That was rough in there. I mean, I got to be more comfortable, but you know.
I understand you're also hanging out with all of your friends in that room by yourself.
My dogs?
Yeah, sure. Tennessee with a kickoff, and Arkansas will not have a return.
The defense.
He cold called Sam Pittman when looking for this job. Pittman thought it was a Texas high school coach calling about a recruit. Got him on the line, and Pittman said, "We need to get you out here." And he sure did. Kendall was the offensive coordinator at Florida State last year, and Sam was very appreciative of the Florida State program. They actually paused their practices and changed their schedule, allowed Kendall to come interview. A run straight ahead by Rakeem Boyd. He also interviewed with Jeremy Pruitt for the Tennessee job. Probably wouldn't have been a great fit given what he wants to do, and Jeremy's kind of an old school guy. They'll bubble action and they'll swing it back on this play and on the run to the edge.
Boy, it just shows you how important Hudson Henry is to this offense, because he's not moving well. I mean, he's limping around, but they need him out there. He's so important in the blocking, in the secondary options, in the flat. Keep an eye on that, because he is hobbled by that lower leg injury.
Straight ahead, here's Rakeem Boyd. And Boyd will set up a 3rd and 1 with that big run. Arkansas going tempo here.
Yes. And Henry had the lead block there.
Boyd needs 1. And he picks up the first down for Arkansas down to the 40. Henry's going to come off the field.
He's gritting through it. Look at this block. He's going to come up, insert right on Henry To'oto'o, who's a dang good linebacker, and did just enough. I mean, he got put on his butt there at the end, but he did just enough to give Rakeem Boyd a hole to skirt through.
Henry on the sideline with the athletic training staff reached for the back of his right knee. He just ripped his helmet off. I don't think he's coming back in this game. Franks looking for the slant. Double clutch. Found his man. Arkansas first down. Blake Kern. That's Henry's replacement. Ball came out late, but they say Kern was down. 24-yard gain after Franks pulled it back and then delivered.
Yeah, a little pump here. Watch. That linebacker flows over the top, which is why Franks has to pump for a second. Does a great job of hanging on it and giving him an accurate ball.
Kern lead blocker here on this run by Traylon Smith, the Arizona State transfer. Donald W. Reynolds, Razorback Stadium. 16,000 through the gates in this one. Very responsibly spaced throughout. An all crowd looking to get more into this one, trailing 10-0. This will be the 11th play of this drive for Arkansas. Only the 2nd touch of this game for the Arkansas offense.
Well, they had a lot of time to think about this one. 2nd and medium. This might be where you pull another trick play, or it's a little razzle dazzle out of the bag again.
Franks trying to change direction, and Tennessee had that one played well. The big dudes, Matthew Butler and Darrell Middleton, in there to make the stop. Quickly on the ball again. This is 3rd and 6. Franks to the slant, caught for an Arkansas first down. He was able to get it in to Traylon Burks out of Warren, Arkansas, the former Lumberjack.
That's a mismatch for Arkansas every time he's in man-to-man coverage, and now with the tempo trying to catch Tennessee off guard.
Franks looking for Smith to deliver a block, and he goes down inside the 5. Henry To'oto'o in there to blow it up along with Jalen McCullough. Second and goal for Franks, the fifth-year senior out of Crawfordville, Florida. Transferred from the Gators, had originally committed to LSU. He'll roll the pocket, looking back in zone, got a man, and he fires high. And it was just a hair late in the decision making.
Yeah, Mike Woods does a good job of having a secondary reaction there. He's really supposed to go to the corner of the end zone. He sees his quarterback in a little bit of trouble, peeled back towards the inside, but Franks just didn't see him in time. And now the 15th play.
Game keeps moving at this pace. We could make it to Theo's for the third straight night.
I'm game.
Traylon Smith, the Arizona State transfer in the backfield. Franks looking for that slant. Crossing route. Lobs back in zone. Too much. And the pass uncatchable is why we didn't see a flag. Traylon Burks, and Franks is slow to get up.
He got a little action low there late. I don't think it was on purpose. Just got someone rolled into him. Looks like he's all right, but just didn't have enough time to wait for that play to develop. It's a mesh concept. A lot of guys crossing, trying to get rub routes. Pocket collapse and didn't have enough time to deliver an accurate pass.
21-yard attempt for A.J. Reed. Essentially an extra point. He's made 73 consecutive of those. And this one goes wide right.
Tom, you can't say that. You can't say he's made 73 in a row.
I said it's like an extra point, but it's not like an extra point because he doesn't miss those.
Now we can't go to Theo's.
What happened? 10-0 Tennessee.
Call it 12 to go for the first down. Sterner lost the football. Oh my goodness! He stumbled and fumbled.
Sean McDonough, the soundtrack to the second biggest win of Tennessee's '98 season. And a great one in the history of this rivalry. It was a 24-10 lead in the third quarter before T. Martin was able to lead Tennessee back thanks to that Clint Sterner fumble, and also Travis Henry with 5 consecutive runs, including the game winner. Brandon Bullsworth, the legend, the late Brandon Bullsworth, who was so good in everything he did. His feet caught up with Sterner. That led to the fumble. Philip Fulmer ecstatic after that one. They would go on, of course, to win the national championship. In the sake of balance, we will note that Arkansas exacted revenge in '99 when Sterner hooked up with Anthony Lucas for the game-winning touchdown in the fourth quarter. It turned into a party in Fayetteville. They tore down the goalpost, took him to Dixon Street. Both of those games ended 28-24. 100%. Morgan and Poole leading the way at linebacker. Garantano has plenty of time. Lets it go deep. Down the numbers, and a flag thrown all the way back at the 42-yard line. Hudson Clark, the redshirt freshman from Dallas, who had 3 picks against Ole Miss, was matched up in coverage.
Yeah, it's a double move.
On the defense, number 17. That's a 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And Hudson Clark is going to hook him right here. Right? He gets beat, bites up on the hitch route, double move as a corner. You're in panic mode at that point. You try to clip a little bit of the receiver to slow him down. Obviously try to do it so the refs don't see it. That time it was a little obvious, but you'll take 15 before you take a 60-yard touchdown.
Those 3 picks in one game, an Arkansas freshman record. They'll run it again and throw him down at the line of scrimmage. And a big-time stop by Julius Coates, the junior out of Rockford, Illinois, by way of Scuba.
What a cool story is Julius Coates, a young man that played wide receiver in high school, started out at wide receiver in junior college. Barry Odom told us this is all still new to him. Understanding the technique, the footwork, the hand placement. It's all new. Super athlete and obviously very twitchy, but just playing defensive line is not something that's familiar. He really stuck out to me the last 2 games, and obviously Arkansas is going to need him.
He played at 2 different junior colleges before finding his way to Northwest Arkansas. Garantano. A foot down and a completion on a fantastic play to Josh Palmer and a gain of 18.
Wow, and Julius Coates provided the pressure there again. But Garantano does a great job. You're going to see Julius Coates on the right side of your screen pushing back the tight end. And Garantano, great job of buying time with his legs. And how about the toe tap by Josh Palmer?
Late changes for Arkansas as Clark runs over to get in front of Palmer in the slot again. Tennessee will run it. And they've had plenty of success running the ball. Jabari Small again. The safety, Jalen Catalon, already has 11 tackles in this one. Guys, I had a chance to sit in on Arkansas's film study after practice on Thursday. And on my way out, the only people that were still there were the defensive backs. Jalen Catalon was sitting in the front row leading the film study for the defensive backs. He's only a redshirt freshman. Barry Odom said that's who he is. That's what he does. Guys, listen to him. He is a brilliant defensive mind. When I told you that surprised you, not that a player is leading film study, that can happen, right? But that a redshirt freshman
is? A redshirt freshman? That's unheard of, honestly. I mean, rarely do players lead meetings like that, and if they do, it's the upperclassmen. That just shows you how much respect and leadership he has already in his young career.
Four-star recruit out of Mansfield Legacy, Chad Morris, said he was one of the best high school players he had ever seen when he got him to commit to Arkansas. Communication from Grant Morgan. This is a 3rd and 3 for Tennessee. Garantano going deep, got a man with a step, and it is incomplete, and he may have underthrown his receiver by a half step. Brandon Johnson was open for a moment, but they couldn't take advantage.
Yeah, it's that slot fade. This ball has to be thrown more towards the back pylon. You see how Johnson's got to reach over the defender? As a quarterback, you got to leave that towards the back pylon. In practices, college and the NFL, they used to put a box back there. 5-by-5 yard box in the corner of the end zone, and that's where the quarterback had to leave it every time, just too far inside by Garantano on that one.
48-yard attempt for Samaglia. A line drive gets over the crossbar and through. Second one for Samaglia. Nobody celebrates like this dude. He's quickly becoming my favorite. Blow kisses, blow kisses. I mean, come on.
Why don't you get a sleeve? Like, come on.
Who says I don't have one?
I don't know. That's true. I never see you outside of a suit jacket in a Lululemon shirt.
38 plays for Tennessee. 30 of them are runs in this one. And that's what we expected. And that's what Arkansas expected Tennessee would do with offensive coordinator Jim Chaney. Arkansas will receive the second half kickoff, as this Razorbacks team just didn't have many opportunities to try and get their offense going. Jeremy Pruitt is standing by with Cole Kubler.
Coach, you get that clean of a half from your football team. What's your message to your team in the locker room?
Well, we made some mistakes there where we could have finished some drives offensively. We missed a couple of blocks there at the tight end position. Didn't slide one time. Didn't block a guy coming off the edge. Defensively, there's 3 plays. You know, the flare, screen, and go. They popped the stretch on us there, and then the reverse. So we got to clean that up.
Is there a part of what you're seeing from their offense that's been giving you more trouble than you anticipated?
You know, they play fast. This is the first team we've played that's played this fast. This is their MO.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy Pruitt in Tennessee with a firm grasp on this one. It's a 13-0 lead at the half. Let's get you back to the studio. Dari in the game to walk you through a busy day in the SEC. Felipe Franks in Arkansas. To find some offense, they've been shut out here in the first half. It's a 13-0 lead for Jarrett Garantano in Tennessee. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, live and in person. This is exactly what we expected out of Tennessee. At their best, they can run the ball. When they do that, they keep the ball away from the Hogs.
Yeah, Jim Chaney warned us. He like, look, we didn't get back into the lab and do anything creative or put any new plays. No, we got back to fundamentals. We need to run the football well, and they've done that tonight. And it's made Garantano be safe and precise with the football, exactly what they want.
Let's take a look at our first half stats. brought to you by Zaxby's. Tennessee doubling up Arkansas in time of possession. Sometimes that number doesn't mean anything. Tonight it means everything.
Yeah, Arkansas just 4 possessions. They've been really good on the first play of every possession. On 3 of those, they got 19 or more yards. They got to find ways to generate more explosive plays. They've started out well, and then each drive has kind of fizzled towards the end. Kendall Brown's got to find a way to get Traylon Burks more involved. Just 2 touches. He's got to be more involved in this drive to generate some explosive plays.
Paxton Brooks will kick it off and get the second half started for Tennessee. And there will be no return for Arkansas. Cole, you caught up with head coach Sam Pittman. What did he tell you?
Actually, right along the lines of what Jordan was just talking about. I said, Coach, how do you become more explosive in the second half? He said, listen, Cole, at some point in time, we have to believe that we can line up and run the football behind our offensive line. He said he thought they busted a couple big runs early in that game. Wants to try to keep it going. He said, we get inside the 10-yard line, we have to be able to hand the football off and punch it into the end zone. If they can get the run game going, he believes that will open up play action to then create more explosive plays in the second half.
So why has the first play been so successful for Arkansas?
Well, usually it's a play that you've repped a million times. It's usually one of your best plays, and you start a drive like that, and they've been successful at that. They just haven't been able to get anything going since. I agree, though. 116 yards rushing in the first half. Get back to the ground game and let Felipe Franks take some shots.
Man coverage for Tennessee. They're going to run it with Rakeem Boyd, the former A&M Aggie and Netflix star from Last Chance U.
You know what I thought was interesting when we talked with Kendall Browse? He said, you know, I had to come to a place here in the SEC where I was happy with 3- or 4-yard plays. I mean, he's used to being in a wide open offense. Baylor, FAU, Florida State, they didn't get going as much, but his history is explosive plays. 3 or 4 yards used to make him mad. He's like, look, these are good plays. The explosive plays will come. We just got to keep moving in the right direction.
Hudson Henry, the tight end, in motion. In action here in the second half. He grabs the ball on the swing from Franks, and he takes it for a first down. You can see with his deceleration at the end of that play, carried him all the way to the Tennessee bench. He's not feeling well.
No, and he's hobbling, coming back onto the field here. Look, adrenaline kicks in at some point. The first play after the second half is probably usually the worst. You feel it, right? Now the juice starts flowing. Hopefully that adrenaline kicks in. He gets in there, mixing it up in the blocking.
Henry wide open on the edge. Gain of 9.
That's a great job there by Felipe Franks. He wanted to take a shot, right? We mentioned it coming out of half, and we got to get Henry out of there. I mean, he's had a heck of a couple plays, blocking a couple receptions, but he's not 100%. But back to what I was saying, they want to take shots. But just because you call a shot doesn't mean you have to take a shot. Felipe Franks did a great job of checking the ball down when coverage was over the top. That allows Briles to dial it up again.
Big hit on the carry by Boyd. Henry To'o racking up some numbers with Bryce Thompson.
Tennessee's defense is playing well. They've been stout up front. Henry To'o has been all over the field. And on the back end, they've been great in coverage. They've been plugging up the RPO windows. Not much has been there through the air for Arkansas.
Franks has completed 8 passes, but that's netted just 52 yards for the Hogs. Blitz coming from the edge. They'll run it. And Traylon Smith picks up a Razorback first down.
Now you got to get this tempo going. Got to pick up the pace here if you're Arkansas.
Bryce Thompson coming off the field for Tennessee. This will be the 10th play of the drive. They've converted 3 third downs already in this possession. Franks holds it. Now gets rid of it a little bit late and a hair wide. And Kenneth George with some words from Mike Woods.
I mentioned they were plugging up these RPOs. Look at this defender playing inside leverage here on Traylon Burks. I believe it is in the slot. It is. He's just taking away the window that they want to throw that slant into. They're playing safety over the top, inside of the inside receiver, and man up on the outside.
Franks to the slant again. This time it's complete. Traylon Burks out of Warren, Arkansas, home of the Pink Tomato Festival since 1956.
That sounds like a good time.
You know what's even better? Yellville's Turkey Trot. Yeah, this way.
Are these things you've experienced?
Yeah. No, not personally.
I live vicariously through others. Third down. Franks again to the
Slant and another first down for Traylon Burks.
And I just dialed up or telling what they were doing to stop this slant. Now they're out of it. Now they're just in man coverage, giving too much grass on that slot receiver and allowing him to break inside.
Nobody was on Burks. They swing it to the other side. That's the running back out of Arizona State, Traylon Smith.
Well, I don't know why you get out of something when it's successful, right?
Yeah.
You broke up that slant. I mean, I would have stayed in that coverage. You go single high and allow Traylon Burks green grass on the inside. They're going to take that every time. This offense wants to throw in-breaking routes. They want to throw slants. Got to take that away first and foremost, and I think they're going to on this play here.
This will be the 14th play of the drive. Traylon Smith. There must be some gas defenders on both sides. Every drive has gone 10 plays or more.
Yeah, it's really testing these defensive fronts. You can see them late to get their hands down. I mean, they're trying to do a good job here, but at some point you're sucking wind.
Franks pulls it back. He delivers it. They got room. It's a tight end, Blake Kern, who takes it inside the 5. Pardon me. It wasn't Kern. It was John David White, the Little Rock native.
That's some of that eye candy, right? You get these linebackers to bite up, show them some motion, slip the tight end out into the flat. Great play design.
Kern was correct on the front end. White picked up the loose ball. Wild hog now with Smith. Ran into his own man, tried to bounce it. And Arkansas look at 2nd and goal from just outside of the 1.
You know, one thing we haven't seen a ton of since Felipe got banged up on that pass play and has the brace on his left knee, we haven't seen him run the football that much. Usually down in around here is where they like these quarterback powers.
Maybe why they went to the wild hog in the last play.
Yeah.
Second is short. Franks to the slant again. Touchdown, Arkansas. Mike Woods. That was smooth. It was like Arkansas fan Bobby Bones on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, it's just a slant route here on Kenneth George on the outside, who's playing in place of Alontae Taylor, their starting cornerback for Tennessee, who's out. Again, now 3 or 4 times on that drive, Tennessee allowed the Arkansas defenders free reign to break inside. And it was 3 or 4 completed slants.
A.J. Reed with the extra point on that drive. They converted 5 third downs. A 17-play, 75-yard drive to start the second half. Took 5:14 off the clock, and it's Woods' 2nd touchdown of the year. Time to start talking about Texas A&M as a college football playoff team.
No doubt. I mean, their only loss right now is to Alabama, and they got a pretty good, favorable schedule down the road. They're playing at an extremely high level. Kellen Mond's playing well. They're running the football and protecting him. And A&M's playing better than LSU right now.
First down run finds nothing for Tennessee. In fact, I may have lost yardage on first. Eric Gray.
This is a momentum drive. And Arkansas just got a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum with that last drive. The momentum is still on their side. Tennessee needs to get a first down here to calm things back down. They controlled the first half. They got to get back to that with a first down here.
2nd and long. Gray turns the corner and gets taken down after a gain of 6, and that's going to leave 3rd and 9.
Hey, you know what they're doing there? Arkansas is keying on where Tennessee's running back is. And they're shifting 3 guys to the side opposite the running back because that's where Tennessee wants to run. So a good job of seeing something in the first half.
And that's predictable based on the handoff, where the quarterback's going to turn.
That's really all you can do from that spot is handoff zone to the opposite side.
Now what they did in the first half is they went pistol and put the running back behind it.
Yeah.
Garantano's only thrown it 8 times in this game. He's 5 for 8. And he's going to try and scramble. Goes airborne at the 30. Garantano leaving it on the field, but everybody was covered downfield.
Well, I thought he could have got rid of it earlier. just before this point, had a player in the flat. It was tight coverage, but I feel like if he got rid of it earlier, he had a chance. But a great job by Greg Brooks running Garantano down there from midfield to make that big stop on third down again. The momentum is now still with Arkansas. You can feel it changing.
Second Tennessee 3 and out of the night. And remember, the half started with a 17-play Arkansas drive. Punt goes way wide. And we'll see where they will mark this one. Arkansas has the momentum. And they're going to hold the momentum. Greg Brooks, Isaiah Nichols converged to knock down Garantano. A 6-point game in the third. Franks hands it off Rakeem Boyd. And Boyd gets folded over after a gain of 4.5. Jeremy Banks is now in a middle linebacker for Tennessee, and if you saw the way Jeremy Pruitt was talking with Cravaris Crouch on the sideline, that would be no surprise. Cole will explain in just one moment. 2nd and 5. Franks holds, fires down the sideline. Receiver went out of bounds, came back in, flag thrown on the play. He's going to take it down the sideline and out of bounds at the 3. It's Mike Woods now, touchdown. They say never stepped out. Here's the question. The flag went down and the official lost his hat as well. If he was forced out of bounds, he can come back in and get it. If he wasn't, it's a flag for illegal touching.
He was definitely forced out. I think that's why there was a flag.
Yep. On the defense, number 5. A penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
At the bottom here, you're going to see the force out. That's where the flag was thrown. Too much contact there on the outside by Kenneth George, and Mike Woods does a great job of sticking to it, getting back in bounds, and a great throw by Felipe Franks. Here we go. This next step right there. Yep, the heel comes out right at the 6.
So they'll take that one off the board and put the Razorbacks with a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Hey, we've been talking about it, though.
Here's Mark Leffler.
The player stepped out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 6:59. It'll be 1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
Longest play of the year for this Razorback offense, and they're looking to score on consecutive drives after being shut out in the first half. Blake Kern is a tight end in the H-back position now. Remember, Hudson Henry banged up in this game, tried to go in the first drive of the second half, but left again. Here's Boyd. Nope, Franks throws it. Kern, touchdown! Play action to the big tight end, and it's the first for the 5th-year senior out of Lamar, Arkansas.
Well, that's just a great job by Kendall Briles. You notice they got to the line of scrimmage. They gave Tennessee a look. Tennessee stacked the line of scrimmage, stacked the box. You're going to see Kern here. Gives the look like they're going downhill right there. Like he's going to insert right on the linebacker. Steps right by him. Hard play action. Great play design by Kendall Briles.
This is a big one for fans of all sports, including Adam Olson, the head athletic trainer for the St. Louis Cardinals, a huge Razorbacks fan, and his party continues tonight. Razorbacks have scored on consecutive possessions. 14-13, another thriller brewing in this series. Best Halloween costume ever. Tennessee's making a change at quarterback. Cole, why do you think Brian Maurer's in the game now?
Well, my understanding is that Jim Chaney has a little bit of his own read package for Brian Maurer. Jordan pointed this out earlier. The defense is cheating where the running back is aligned, trying to steal some runs and maybe get a jump on him. You get a quarterback in there that has some mobility, you can take advantage of that.
They're going out of the pistol now. And that'll have the running back right behind Maurer. Been a difficult week already for Maurer. Turns and hands it off, and Gray's got room on the right side. And he picks up 5. Jeremy Pruitt told us that when Tennessee's plane landed here in Northwest Arkansas, he just learned, Maurer did, that his grandpa had passed away. Garantano 5 of 8 tonight. He has not made mistakes.
No.
It's just a different look at quarterback.
Yeah, look, Tennessee's been able to run the football effectively. And in order to do that, the way that Arkansas is selling out, like Cole mentioned, they might need a little juice at the position. Someone with a little more juice running the football.
Gray spins his way for a couple of physical yards, and that will leave 3rd and 2. Do you expect zone read on 3rd and 2?
Absolutely. It's a perfect time for it. Let's see what formation Tennessee comes out in.
In road games this year, Tennessee has been outscored in the second half 61-17. Tonight, it's 14-0 in the second half. Give to the running back, nowhere to go for Eric Gray. Jonathan Marshall, who Barry Odom called the most important player on this team, led the way.
And it really wasn't a zone read here. Trying to steal some eyes with the rocket motion. And Arkansas played great at the line of scrimmage there. Won that right side. And boy, you bring Maurer in, but you don't use his legs there. You know?
Yep. Tennessee to punt it away.
Puzzling.
Consecutive 3 and outs, so give the ball back to Arkansas from the 15-yard line. And out to the 14. Franks hands it off. Huge hole. Traylon Smith. And he takes it past the 40. Tennessee little light on the defensive side. Cole, what's up with that?
Well, starting defensive end Latrell Bumpus came out from halftime with no shoulder pads on. Tom, he is out for the rest of this football game.
They'll put Elijah Simmons or Greg Emerson on the field. Right now it's Simmons right on top of Stromberg. Franks pulls it back. Surveys. Has plenty of time. Now he unloads. Got a man. Caught. Arkansas first down. Arkansas touchdown. Traylon Burks covers 59 yards with a dance at the end. Pink Tomato Festival's going to be jumping this year.
This is just a fantastic job by Felipe Franks. Buys times, and here you see the elite arm strength there. And Traylon Burks just sneaks behind the defense on a second reaction play, and back-to-back plays of the longest of the season. 56 and 59 for Arkansas.
Their last 2 scoring drives have lasted only 5 plays. The previous drive took 17. And you got to think that 17-play drive set up these plays.
Absolutely. It's the play action. The running game gets going. Defense gets closer to the line of scrimmage, stacks the box. That's when those big shot plays happen downfield. I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of I'm less of a man, and I'll admit it, than Traylon Burks. Not even close. But now all of a sudden in a blink, you're down 8 points. So we need to see what the game plan is with Brian Maurer. We thought it was come in, do some zone read, use his legs. We didn't see that last drive. Let's see if we see it.
He wants to throw on first down, and he fires a bullet that Bumper Poole almost got a hand on from his linebacker spot.
It's interesting because, you know, Jeremy Pruitt mentioned that really the QB competition, what there is one or what everybody thought there was one, really wasn't. He said it wasn't even close. It's Jarrett Garantano. The entire team knows it, sees it every day in practice. So maybe this is just a situation where you need a change or you need a spark. You need somebody to provide a spark on offense.
I don't disagree with that, but he made the change when Tennessee was still leading. It was pardon me, they had just gone down by 1. So in a game where they have dominated time of possession, you could have kept with what you were doing.
I agree. I know. That's why it's puzzling.
And after that nets nothing, maybe a yard. Tennessee will be looking at 3rd and long. Another stop for Grant Morgan, the future doctor.
And this is where you got to be careful. Again, 3rd and long. Arkansas has been excellent in zone coverage all year. You got a quarterback that has thrown one pass off the bench.
Third down 9. Maurer. Incomplete, almost picked. He was a yard behind his intended receiver, Jalen Hyatt. And with two guys as experienced as Maurer and Hyatt, you don't know who was on the right page or the wrong.
No, but there was two defenders for Arkansas reading Brian Maurer's eyes the entire time. This ball is missed wide to the outside, but that is a ball that should have been caught for an interception. And what is going on with Tennessee's offense now?
They are stuck in the mud. Devion Warren thought about picking it up on the short hop when he lifted his eyes up. Hudson Henry is back on the field for the Razorbacks. They'll run it with Boyd. A couple years ago, Felipe Franks, while in Gainesville, was walking his dog. He got a phone call from a Boston area code and reluctantly picked it up. It was the Red Sox saying, "We'd like to work you out." 3 days later, he was on a mound in Gainesville throwing for a Red Sox scout and ended up signing with him for $40,000, despite the fact that he never played college baseball for the University of Florida. He's not the only one that's done that. They also signed Jeff Driscoll. Remember, Driscoll was at Florida, ended up kind of not liking the bright lights of the SEC, went to La Tech, threw for more yards at La Tech than he did at Florida, and started a game for the Broncos this year.
Two guys that are both great athletes and have huge arms.
Franks scrambles, goes straight ahead, and takes it to the logo for a first down for the Razorbacks. 24-yard run. Pitchers don't know how to slide.
Quarterbacks don't like to slide. Come on, especially when you're that big.
Traylon Burks in motion. Franks pump fakes it and takes off. And he took a shot from Henry toe. Didn't get down quickly enough. Starting to see the counters to the plays that Kendall Briles has drawn up all night.
Yeah, he's brilliant at that. We saw the reverse. We saw a reverse screen. They've thrown that play, a little backwards pass a few times. This time, the quarterback draw off it. That's what makes him so dangerous as a play caller.
Franks keeps it again. How about Felipe Franks calling his own number a few times in this drive?
That knee's loosening up, right? I mean, he threw the brace on there. Didn't run for about a quarter and a half or 2 quarters, and now must be loosened up, and he's using his legs.
Cole, what do you got on Jared Garantano?
Just did want to give you guys a quick update that due to a head injury, he will not be available for the rest of this game. He's been taken to the locker room for further evaluation.
Well, that certainly explains it, and that answers a lot of questions. Third down 4. And it has changed the tenor of this game, along with the big plays for the Razorbacks. And a big hit on third down. Wow, Theo Jackson out of Nashville.
Well, that's such a good play to stop Arkansas on third down. It's a play they like. Little misdirection. Fake the zone. Leak Henry out into the flats. But, man, coming from the middle of the field, Theo Jackson, great closing speed there.
A.J. Reed on. Remember, he missed the chip shot. This will be a 44-yard attempt. Pardon me, 48-yard attempt. And that ball is drilled through the uprights. A.J. Reed gets back on track with a season-long field goal of 48.
This was absolutely boomed. I thought on the missed short field goal earlier, the holder tilted it back a little too far. That time, perfect operation.
Third quarter, the difference so far in this one, 24 straight points for the Hogs after a big shutout in the first half. No chance for a return. Maurer flushed. And he'll make it back to the line of scrimmage, maybe. Maurer into the exercise bike. That'll qualify as a sack as they take him down. And Maurer's being trailed by the center judge. I think he was just getting him out of Arkansas's bench carefully. But there are times the umpiring crew can also take a guy out for a hit to the head. That wasn't the case. He was just escorting him. Well, that's how the third quarter is going to come to an end. This one, all Arkansas in the third. They fought back from a 13-0 deficit. As we head to the fourth, it's the Hogs now with a double-digit lead. Welcome back to SEC Saturday night, second and long for Tennessee. Brian Maurer is the quarterback for the Volunteers. We'll show you why in a moment. Maurer hits the out route, and that's good for 5. We're going to flag on the play. While they discuss the flag, here's the play that got Jarrett Garantano taken out of the game.
That was the scramble play. He's going to go airborne. And I tell you what, the ground is undefeated. It's rarely the big hit from a defender, and a lot of times it's the ground. You see Jarrett Garantano's head hits the ground pretty hard there, and he didn't return after that.
Defensive holding and first down for Tennessee. All right, new quarterback is Harrison Bailey. He'll hand it off, and that's a positive play for Tennessee as they pick up 6. Bailey came in with a sterling resume, 4-star recruit, highest ranked recruit recruited by Jeremy Pruitt at quarterback. Hands it off again, this time limited to just 2 yards. What can we expect from Harrison Bailey?
Well, we don't really know. We haven't seen really any extended playing time, and that's one thing Jeremy Pruitt mentioned too. He's like, we don't know what he does good. We haven't seen enough of it yet. One thing they do know, he's got a ton of talent and he's got a ton of confidence.
It's the third quarterback used by Tennessee tonight. Garantano out with a head injury. Maurer ineffective. 3rd and 3. They'll run it again. This time they pick up a first down behind Eric Gray.
Well, you couldn't have had 3 better plays, right? 3 runs, calm your young quarterback's nerves down. It got loud, that stadium there on 3rd down. Great push up front, especially
back to live action. They're going to run it again with Gray. And that's going to leave 2nd down. Harrison Bailey had 5 Division I offers before he took his first high school snap. Hasn't thrown it yet in this one. And they'll go straight ahead, and that'll leave 3rd and 2.
This is kind of what Tennessee got away from in the 3rd quarter, right? We saw some play action. We saw 2 tight ends, but they were throwing the football. They got away from the run. You still got enough time in this game to pick up first downs on the ground, but you do need to pick up the urgency.
Again to the run. Big stop, Jonathan Marshall. He's running over the top of Eric Gray. And that'll bring up 4th down. Tennessee's down 11. 5:03 to go. What do? Do you put the field goal unit out there or try to go for it?
Boy, I might go for, you need 2 scores. I might go field goal here, pull it within 8. Well, they're showing some trust in their young quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get him outside the pocket, give him a 2-way go.
Down 2 scores. Bailey to throw, slant, batted in the air. It is intercepted by Arkansas. Turnover on downs. Regardless, it was going to be Arkansas ball, but the Razorbacks have their 11th interception of this season. It belongs to Eric Gregory. It's his first. The play calling is a funny thing, isn't it? I mean, Arkansas was poised to get away from what they were doing to set up Tennessee with big plays, and it worked in the 3rd quarter. Tennessee got away from what they were doing, and they've gone backwards. Now, granted, they also lost their starting quarterback.
They've had a quarterback shuffle, but I I really thought they should have kicked the field goal there. You know, you got to get 2 scores, get it to an 8-point game. Instead, you're throwing on a 3rd down where the crowd here, although it's not packed, 17,000 fans, it got loud. You're thrown into an Arkansas zone coverage, and yes, he was early.
Greg Brooks early.
Yep, he was early there. That's a missed pass interference call, but a lot of times that's so bang bang there. It's easy to see in slow motion. It's tough to see as a ref. But again, you got what, a 42-yard field goal maybe?
Right.
Yeah, 42-yard field goal. Get it to 16. Get it to an 8-point game. See if your defense can come up with a stop. Get your young quarterback on the sideline and really talk through what he's comfortable with, and so you can mount a final drive.
Similar situation last night. Miami took the field goal. They were even a lot closer and relied on their defense. They came back to win that game against North Carolina State. Straight ahead run. Raheem Boyd.
Arkansas's got to pick up the first down here. They've been not able to get things going here in the 4th quarter with this slow pace. They've gotten away from tempo to milk this clock. Now with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. 1 or 2 more first downs would seal it for them. Tennessee's got 2 timeouts. They need 2 more first downs. But man, just 1 right now would be a big start for Arkansas.
Back to Boyd. No, it's Franks who keeps it. So we were talking about the Pink Tomato Festival earlier.
Oh boy.
I teased the Yaleville Turkey Trot. Franks going to keep it, try to shake, and has nowhere to go. Yaleville Turkey Trot. You ever familiar with WKRP in Cincinnati?
No.
Okay, then this doesn't matter to you. But for the Yaleville Turkey Trot, a plane flies over the town the 2nd weekend of October, and they push a turkey out of the plane. Turkeys can't fly, but a few different things can happen. The turkey could just fall down and splat and done, and that's the end of the turkey. Or it could spread its wings. And if the turkey spreads its wings and glides to the ground and lands within the town folk can go grab that turkey, and voila, you're having a turkey dinner maybe the next day. Now, if the turkey spreads its wings and it floats down and it gets on the other side and lands outside of town on the other side of Crooked Creek, the turkey has earned its freedom. Les Nessman may have gotten his idea.
Earned its freedom, but it might have a few broken legs. I don't know what it's going to do with the freedom.
Can't fly, but they can glide.
Oh, they can?
Yeah.
You've seen a turkey glide?
No, I haven't, but that's what I'm told.
That's pretty amazing.
Next October, let's go to the turkey trot. Let's hang out in Yellow.
I'm in. Do I have to run, or can I just watch the turkey out of the plane?
We can have some turkey and watch the turkey. Beautiful. Probably how it's going to go down. Run to the right side for Traylon Smith.
Well, that's the stop they needed. And that's the questions with a young quarterback. And unfortunately, in a 4th quarter, in a tight game, in an SEC game, I mean, everything's amplified. Everything's magnified, and it's tough. They need a big punt return here. Arkansas is going to kick it away from them, but they need to get some field position to help their young quarterback out.
They've got Eric Gray back to return. Razorbacks get it away against the rush. Gray's got plenty of room. He takes it at the 12, and he lost his footing, pardon me, at the 17. A 43-yard punt, and Gray can't make any room. So Bailey, with some very valuable time in this game, under 2 minutes to go. 4-star quarterback coming out of Marietta, Georgia. Could it be easier for him in this situation? Up-tempo, 2-minute offense, just get out there and throw?
Yes, because the playbook condenses, right? There's only a handful of plays that a team will use in 2 minutes or likes to use. Usually their day one install stuff that he knows well, but he's got to get an easy completion. Get something out of his hands, get a completion, get this drive started.
Tennessee out of timeouts. Bailey fires it over the middle. That's Gray. And there's that easy one you were talking about as Grant Morgan and Buffer Poole converge for the stop.
Great drive starter in 2 minutes. Send your receivers to run off. Throw a check down to the running back. But now they got to pick up some chunk plays. Minute 40, they're down 2 scores.
Bailey goes back to the same play. And Gray takes this one to the 35. Clock will stop while they move the chain. Tennessee down 11. 1:33 remaining in this one.
Your big play receiver, the most speed, is going to be Jalen Hyatt, the true freshman, number 11 in the slot here at the bottom of your screen.
Same side of the field as Josh Palmer. Bailey looking left this time. Goes right back to it. Another check down. And Gray stops short of the first down. They got to hurry here. 2nd and 1. 1:15 and counting.
Again, those are great because the ball's moving in the right direction, but you got to have something bigger. You got to at least try to take a shot. An incompletion just stops the clock for you.
Arkansas will drop 8. They'll only bring 3, including Marshall. Bailey goes right back to it. First down again with Gray out of the game. This time it's Jabari Small. 59 seconds left. Small is the lone running back. He's open again. Bailey goes there again. And they're just trying to eat a huge steak one tiny bite at a time.
Yeah, it's exactly what Arkansas wants them to do. They don't want him to take chunk plays. Fine, throw it to the running back. The clock is ticking. You got 36 seconds left. You got to throw one downfield.
It may be different if it were a one-score game. It is not. Bailey flush from the pocket. The freshman's going to take it out of bounds wisely with a first down run. 26 seconds left now.
I mean, honestly, I think you got to throw one up into the end zone.
Yeah, you just have to call Hail Mary right here, right?
Yeah.
There's only 26 seconds left.
Yeah.
Razorbacks, 2nd in the nation with 11 picks. Bailey over the middle. Caught. Tennessee first down. And he stays on his feet to the 11-yard line. It's Brandon Johnson. 26-yard gain. Clock will roll again when the ball is spotted. Here it goes at 17.
This one's got to go into the end zone.
Bailey.
Has to.
Eyed the check down. Didn't pull the trigger. Got to get rid of it. He'll scramble out at the 10 with 8 seconds left.
Just took too much time, right? One too many checkdowns. Needed to hit the middle of the field like they ended up doing a few plays earlier.
And remember, Tennessee did not take the field goal, and they had an opportunity. Went for it on 4th down and threw a pick. Pressure coming. Bailey, too high, off the crossbar. They're no longer socially distanced here. The Arkansas students have rushed down to the front row. Remember the 99 game we talked about earlier? Clint Sterner with the game winner. Hooked up with Anthony Lucas. They took the goalpost to Dixon Street.
This is a team that went 2 years without an SEC victory. Things are turning around quick in Fayetteville.
Bailey, end zone, jump ball. It is intercepted again. Razorbacks with another pick to seal it. It's a guy who studies more film than anybody. Jalen Catalon with his 2nd interception of the season.
How about this Sam Pittman Arkansas football team? No one expected them to win more than a couple games coming into the year. They have competed week in and week out. They're proving they're one of the better teams in the SEC West right now. And it starts with Sam Pittman. Great job by this defense down the stretch to keep everything in front of them. And again, it was a little too late for Tennessee. But look at the buy-in here. You think they're excited that Sam Pittman came to Fayetteville?
We asked Sam Pittman, how do you balance building for the future with winning right now? And he said, we don't take shortcuts. We're not worried about tomorrow. We're not worried about next year. We want to go out and win the game. And Felipe Franks and Sam Pittman have done that. Felipe Franks, who worried about social media when he was a Gator, worried about what people were saying about him, worried about the stress and the criticism he faced day in and day out, not just from the social media, but also in the practice field. He's living easy now. So is Sam Pittman, who's standing by with Cole.
Coach, tell me how you're feeling right now.
Oh, man. So proud of the kids, you know. 13-0 at half, and they really dominated us. But we came back, scored quick, ran the ball better. It's awesome, man.
I feel like if Samalytics are having grit, heart, toughness, battling back, and out-rushing your opponent, winning the line of scrimmage, your guys aced their test today.
Man, isn't this awesome around here? I mean, thank you so much. And it's a good football team we just played, but our kids got a lot of heart.
I want you to take us back to when you took this job. You've climbed to 500, you're 3-3. You just beat one of the logos in the SEC.
Yeah.
How did you ever think you could get here?
Oh, we got good kids, a great coaching staff. We got a great coaching staff, and I knew if we'd go to work that we'd have a chance, and that's what they've done, Cole, to be honest with you.
What's next this season for Arkansas football?
Well, just get ready for next week, you know, and obviously Florida had a great game today against Georgia, and 4 more SEC games. Hopefully we can get a few of them.
Specifically in this game, you told me at halftime, the explosive plays are there. I asked you, how do you get more explosive? You said they're there. We run the ball, play action, we take our shots. You knew those shots were going to be there, didn't you?
We did. We felt like we could get them, but we had to establish a run game, and we did in the second half. And Rakeem ran really hard, and Traylon Smith ran really hard, and of course Woods had a huge play, and 16, you know, Traylon Burks, good player.
I mean, you hunt hogs with your bare hands. You probably can do things like that, right?
He got some big old hands, but we're so happy, man. I appreciate y'all.
I got one more for you, and your concern going into this game, Barry Odom's concern going into this game, almost everybody on the staff we talked to's concern was, could you stand up to that Tennessee rushing attack?
Yeah.
Just describe what your defensive coordinator was able to do tonight in slowing that aspect of the Tennessee game down.
I thought there at the end of that first half that we had it kind of figured out a little bit. We weren't stopping them quite yet, but we held them field goal. And then I knew at halftime they'd make a good adjustment and bring a little bit more edge pressure and try to get to him that way for the cutback of the zone.
Thank you very much, Coach.
All right, go Hogs.
Sam Pittman is a better football coach than he is a negotiator. When Hunter Yurachek offered him the job, he was so anxious to take it. As the athletic director showed him the computer with the pay structure on it, he had already agreed to it. Yes, I'll take it. He's back here at his dream school, kid who grew up going to Arkansas camps as a high school player. And he's led Arkansas to another conference win. A come-from-behind victory for the Hogs, 24-13. Let's get you to the studio. Here's Dari.